sea level like the beaches, but what could stop the turbos now? Through the stunning heat, the turbos once again led away, with the flying Villeneuve out to prove that though his teammate Pironi could lead a strike, he, Villeneuve, could lead a race. The Renaults were up there too, but somehow Keke Rosberg's Cosworth Williams had included itself in the party. Didn't the normally aspirated Rosberg know that he was supposed to not in evidence, moving at a speed that was not supposed to be in the script, moving even faster than Rosberg? Having looked at the obsolete, the turbo BMW out of his Brabham and replaced it with a demothballed Cosworth. He too was up there where he shouldn't be, temporarily accompanied by his teammate Patrese, two Brabhams selling twice as much Parmalat sliced ham to the watching millions. But for the moment, it didn't matter whether people were changing one kind of engine for another, or running the car with a different kind of engine at each end, because Villeneuve was out in front showing what sheer brilliance can do. He reminded you of a long line of Ferrari drivers whom the public paid to see go faster than anyone else, some of them for year after year, like Ascari, some of them for only a few laps, like Castellotti, who in the Mille Miglia used to drive on the footpath because the road was full of Italian spectators. And Rosberg's cheeky Williams stayed in amongst the majestic Renaults. For various reasons, one of the rarest sights in Formula One racing is racing cars actually racing each other. The crowd likes it, but it makes team managers nervous. They would rather see their cars up on their own up at the front with nothing to worry about except pit signals. So it might have been about this time, for future reference, that it began occurring to the Brabham Joint Chiefs of Staff how much faster their cars would go initially if not full of such impedimenta as, say, petrol. But all that lay in the future. For now, the Brabhams were doing nicely enough. Everyone was doing nicely. It was a real race. When Piquet went past Arnoux, the prospective Mrs. Piquet liked it. Until that 30, it was a triangular nail-biter between Villeneuve, Piquet, and Rosberg. Piquet went past Rosberg and the whole of Brazil liked it. Piquet closed on Villeneuve, and Brazil liked it even better. Then Rosberg passed Piquet and Brazil hated it. Piquet pulled back again past Rosberg and the Brazilians went berserk. Piquet was up with Villeneuve. They went insane. Villeneuve went into a fence. They were ecstatic. That left Piquet and Rosberg, with Rosberg taking the heat better than Piquet and a lot better than Patrese, who briefly did immaculate three-point turns around an imaginary circuit about 50 feet in diameter, before dimly realizing that it was time to go in and have a nice lie down. TK, resting his head against the side of the cockpit to take the weight off his neck, somehow managed to hold off the bull-strong Rosberg, the man from a country no Brazilian has ever heard of, the man that the British media were already calling the Flying Prince. Rosberg's sudden rise to celebrity plunged Carlos Reutemann into a dark mood that was eventually to lead him back to Argentina and into oblivion. It was only last year that TK had picked Carlos for the World Championship. Now the World Champion had finished first again, a result that was extremely popular with the population of Brazil, most of which was present. TK passed out on the victory dais and had to sit down to spurt the obligatory magnum of heavily promotional champagne. He would have felt even weaker had he known that the race would be taken away from him on a technicality, but more of that later.